Okay, looks like we're live on the air. So, good afternoon, y'all. This is the man in the black mask, and I have a really bizarre story to share with y'all. Some of you may have heard, some of you may not have heard, but I have something I want to share with y'all. You know what I'm saying? My political views on this kind of dark subject, about two Rikers inmates who died days apart. One with his head stuck inside a handcuff port. Now, how the hell did he get his head stuck in a handcuff port? I don't know. I have never heard of nothing like this. But what I do know is that it's bizarre, okay? I'm going to show you this article so you don't think I'm making this shit up, okay? I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you the headline. See? See? Yeah. So, those of you that still don't understand, just log on to the Daily News and peep this, okay? Two Rikers Island inmates died within days of one another, including one inmate whose head was stuck in a handcuff port. Now, I've never heard nothing like this before, but hey, first time for everything. Two inmates died within days of one another at the same Rikers Island jail. The first in a bizarre incident where the man's head was caught in a handcuff slot, and the other in an apparent suicide, the Daily News has learned. The first inmate, Thomas Carlo, 48, was found unresponsive at around 6:15 p.m. March 2nd in the clinic area of the Anna M. Cross Center with his head stuck in the cuff port, a small metal door built into a larger jailhouse door where inmates slide their hands through so that correctional officers can securely shackle them, sources said. Now, that's what I don't understand. How did Mr. Carlo manage to get his nugget stuck in a handcuff port? I mean, I don't understand none of this, man. I know it's fucking stupid, but I remember when I was in jail, the last thing on my mind was putting my head through the handcuff port. I never thought of nothing like that. I mean, did he do this accidentally or did he do this intentionally? I mean, I don't know. But what I do know is that this is bullshit on every aspect, man, in every sense of the word. You know what I'm saying? The Anna M. Cross Center is where inmates are housed in protective custody. Some have mental and physical illness. Okay, that's like the equivalent to the North Infirmary Command Center, and those who are gravely disabled and require 24/7 medical assistance. But the Anna M. Cross Center just requires supervision, you know. They supervise some of the special needs inmates that are there. Okay? So I know some of you have been to Anna M. Cross on Rikers Island, or knew people that have been there. Those of you that have, but I'm gonna tell you this. Thank God you wasn't in the NIC, the North Infirmary Command, and risk getting shot up with morphine and all this other shit, you know? Because they drug inmates down there at the NIC. I'm glad I wasn't in there, but hey, it is what it is. Carlo was rushed to Elmhurst Hospital where he was put on life support, sources said. He was compassionately released from the Correctional Department custody before he was later pronounced dead. Agency officials are still investigating the circumstances behind his death. You know, Tomas Carlo. A second inmate, Javier Velasco, was found Friday in his cell at the Anna M. Cross Center, with a linen wrapped around his neck, just after 5 a.m. in an apparent suicide, according to an internal incident report obtained by the news. The officers who discovered Velasco called medics at 5:15 a.m. and arrived within 5 minutes. He was pronounced dead just after 6:10 a.m. So one got his head caught in the handcuff port early in the day, while the other committed suicide in the pre-dawn hours. Wow. Any death in custody is profoundly saddening, and our condolences are with the families of these men, Deputy Commissioner of Public Information Peter Thorne said in a statement. The safety and well-being of those placed in our custody is our number one priority, and full investigations are underway into these incidents. Yeah. And I believe an inquest should be done too, because let me tell you something. Whenever an inmate dies in custody, it's natural that they order an inquest, you know? Just like if a suspect were to get shot dead by police, again, they would do an inquest on the deceased. Makes sense. Carlo, whose name has several variations, court and jail records show, was charged in the Bronx with assault for striking a medical staffer at Lincoln Hospital multiple times, leaving the victim with a permanent eye injury. Yeah, that was the one that got his head caught in the handcuff port door. So, yeah, I'm just reading it back to you so you don't get confused. Velasco was in Rikers for endangering the welfare of a child, criminal contempt, aggravated harassment and menacing, court records show. Now, Javier Velasco is the one that hung himself. News of these incidents comes in the wake of two accidental releases from the troubled jail complex. Accused murderer Christopher Buggs was mistakenly sprung March 9th after a clerical error. Buggs, 26, was listed as eligible for release on quote-unquote time served on a still pending charge of second-degree murder for a 2018 shooting at a Brooklyn deli. Now, he was the one that told the judge to suck my D when the judge denied him bail on the murder count. You believe it? Even I never told the judge to suck my D. I considered it when I was accused of a crime I didn't commit, but I kept my mouth shut and I did the right thing, because I didn't want to add other charges. And then on top of the charge I was accused of, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? But I've been in jail before. It was a really shitty experience. But I'm out now. I just wish they didn't do Khalid Browder dirty, Had they not done him dirty, he'd still be alive. Buggs had recently got hit with a contempt of court charge after telling a Brooklyn judge to quote-unquote suck my D. See, I just told you already. When the judge declined to release him on bail in the murder case. After Buggs served 30 days on a minor contempt charge, he was accidentally released despite the murder case still hanging over him. Buggs is accused of killing 55-year-old Ernest Brownlee outside a bodega in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. Days later, a similar court clerk error put alleged attempted murderer Nakeem Meekins on the streets. Meekins, 22, was arrested March 10th in connection with the two incidents. The most serious one on November 3rd, which involved a non-fatal shooting, in which he was charged with attempted murder and was supposed to be held on a $100,000 bail. But Rikers Island officials set him loose Monday evening after a Bronx criminal court clerk mistakenly marked him for release without bail, something that should have never happened, the court officials said. Meekins has since turned himself in while Buggs remains missing. Now, as I said before and I said again, something needs to be done about this jail, okay? And if they can't close it, some security measures need to be put into place to ensure the safety of not only the staff, but the inmates, okay? Lucky for me, I was only in there for 3 days, but I could have been through worse, just like Khalid Browder. But like I said, something needs to be done about this piece of shit jail, okay? Because whenever I hear about these incidents involving some of these inmates in the jail, that tends to become personal to me because I was an inmate once, okay? Although it was only 3 days, but I was still an inmate, okay? It was for a crime I didn't commit, just like Khalid Browder, okay? But they shouldn't have never did that shit to me, okay? And this whole closed Rikers thing started with the abuse of Khalid Browder and eventual suicide of him. Because he committed suicide to get away from the severe PTSD that he developed from the abuse that he suffered while he was locked up. Something I wouldn't wish upon nobody. Because again, that could have been me, that could have been some of you. Some of you was probably in jail too, and not just Rikers. And you think that could have been me. Just like the cat that was found dead with his head jammed in a handcuff to him. That could have been you, that could have been me. The idiot that hung himself, that could have been any of us. Okay? But like I said, something needs to be done about Rikers, even if they can't close it. Because I'll tell you, crime has gone up since the pandemic, and it has gotten worse ever since, and that could prevent any promises of closing Rikers Island. There's a good chance that Rikers may never close due to a recent surge in crime associated with the pandemic, particularly with the hate crimes committed amongst the Asians. You know what I'm saying? And when I think of the Asian community, I think of myself as a black person, me being a racism survivor. Because I went through a lot of racism as a kid growing up, okay? Especially with these bum-ass cops that some of you got to put up with every day, But like I said, man, this needs to fucking stop, man. Real talk. Because I get so sick of this shit nowadays, just like you, okay? But I want to see criminal justice reform like some of you here, okay? Criminal justice reform is very important, especially in this pandemic age that we live in, okay? Something got to give. Something got to be done about this. I mean, it's about time that we stand up together and say, enough is enough, okay? Give us the much-needed justice that's been missing all these years. We, as a black and minority community, need justice, okay? If you can give it to the opposite race, you can give it to us too, Okay? Now I feel sorry for all those Asians that have to go through being targeted by hate crimes, but we as blacks have been victims of hate crime ourselves, okay? Not just in the schools and the hospitals, but on the streets too, especially with these bum ass cops. Because I've had a very bad experience with the police. That's why I don't trust the police. Even if they're all good, I still wouldn't trust them. Okay? So anyway, thank you all for listening to the Man in the Black Mask. And don't forget to like and subscribe. If I have another story, I'll bring it out tonight, okay? If I have another story. Because I like to read and share stories with you because politics matter in this day and age. Just nothing associated with the White House because I don't give a fuck about that. Because this, politics has too many separatists out there. And a lot of them is elitist. So, what I'm saying? That's why I would never cover politics inside the White House. Just the stuff that I see on the streets, the stuff I see in the courtrooms and everything else, okay? Just the stuff that has a spitting image of our everyday lives. Those are the stories that I will present my political views on. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a question underneath the screen and tell me what you think about this bizarre incident, okay? Because I'll tell you, it was bullshit and unbelievable because I've never heard of nothing like this until now. So I figured if I bring it out to you, we could have some kind of understanding. So like, subscribe, question underneath the window, okay? I can take criticism, but just do it with respect, okay? So until then, good luck, be well, and have a good day.